Hey friends, this is Rachel, the Water Fire Mama. This video is for anyone who is in crisis mode. Today we're going to talk about some ways to control your breathing so that you can move your body and mind from fight or flight to a state where you can feel calmer and think more clearly. Welcome back. In my last video, I talked about some ways to tend to your physical body when you find yourself facing a crisis. For us high-impact caregivers, we sometimes find ourselves in a season where the bottom falls out of our world and major life changes shake us to the core. In other seasons, we're peppered with millions of minor crises. Everywhere we look, we're putting out fires. Some days, we're better at it than others. Now, I kind of like to nerd out on brain science. So if you want to hear the science behind stress and why breath work helps, just stick with me. If you're in a hurry and need the how to chill tutorial right away, skip ahead to around the 3-minute mark. God insightfully designed our bodies and minds to work together when we face threats in an ingenious way. The autonomic nervous system, among other things, regulates our responses to stress and anxiety. There are two sides to the autonomic nervous system: the sympathetic, the side that kicks our fight or flight response into gear, and the parasympathetic, the side that signals us to rest and digest, or restore and repair. When we perceive trouble is coming our way, the sympathetic nervous system kicks on and acts like an accelerator so that we can either fight our way out of distress or get the heck out of there. In order to fight or run away, our heart rate increases, our breathing speeds up, and our blood pressure rises. When this happens, our thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, takes a backseat to our emotional brain, the amygdala. This is a really good thing because it helps us make quick decisions, mostly on autopilot, to get us out of trouble as efficiently as possible. But it also makes it difficult to process thoughts logically, maintain perspective, and have rational conversations. In normal situations, once the perceived threat has passed, the parasympathetic nervous system takes over and acts like a brake. Heart rate and breathing slow down, blood pressure lowers, and we're closer to our body's baseline where we can relax, rest, and think clearly again. I said in normal situations, but so often we high-impact caregivers don't even know what normal looks like anymore. When we're under the constant stress of responding to another's needs, anything from maintaining their airway to preparing for the next emotional meltdown, our sympathetic nervous system can become dysregulated. We start revving up for things that aren't actually legit threats. Our stress response system can stay active much longer than it needs to, and our parasympathetic nervous system can get less efficient at putting on the brakes. So there's a two-way street. Just like our stress and anxiety can trigger our body's fight or flight response to rev up, what we experience in our physical bodies can affect our emotions. Mindful breathing is one way that we can calm the physical signs of anxiety and stress and bring alignment back to the nervous system. I'm going to show you 3 ways to practice mindful breathing so that you can take a vacation from fight or flight mode. Keep in mind that breathwork exercises take intention and practice over time to be really helpful in reducing stress, anxiety, and depression. We want to breathe in slowly and deeply through the nose and breathe out slowly and completely through the mouth. One way to remember this is by thinking to yourself, smell the flowers, blow out the candles. So to start, get into a position where you can sit and be alert, but also relaxed. Relax your shoulders and maybe close your eyes or let your gaze go soft. With your mouth closed, breathe in deeply and think, smell the flowers. Then take your time and slowly, steadily breathe out through pursed lips like you're blowing out the candles on a big birthday cake. Like you're trying to get out all the candles in one breath. Make sure you empty your breath to the very last bit. Second, try belly breathing. I remember watching my son Luke when he was a baby sleep in his warmer in the NICU. As I watched him breathe, I noticed his belly moving up and down a lot. But as we get older, we get in the habit of breathing into our chests or even our shoulders, right? Breathing all the way into our bellies gives us the opportunity to fully expand our diaphragms. The cool thing is, when you use your diaphragm properly, that stimulates the vagus nerve, which, among other things, is in charge of that signal that it's time to calm down and let the rest and digest function take over. Here's how to do belly breathing. Start by lying on your back with your knees bent and your head on a pillow. You can use your pillow to support your legs as well, if that's more comfortable. Put one hand on the center of your chest and the other hand just below your rib cage. Through this exercise, you'll want to keep the hand on your chest as still as possible. As you breathe in through your nose, you'll want to feel the hand on your belly rising and falling as your abdomen expands. As you breathe out through your lips, you'll feel that hand fall. Keep in mind that this is a different way of breathing than you probably normally do. You might actually feel out of breath the first couple of times you try it, but it should get easier as you practice. Once you've mastered belly breathing lying down, you can try it sitting up in a chair. Finally, practice the 4-7-8 pattern of breathing. When we're gearing up to face a threat, our bodies naturally try to increase the amount of oxygen we're taking in. We might not exhale all the way. If this gets severe, that's where hyperventilating can get you into trouble. Extending the out breath is another signal to the brain that things are okay and we can be calm. The 4-7-8 pattern helps us practice making our out breath longer than our in breath. Inhale slowly through the nose for a count of 4. Then hold your breath for a count of 7. Exhale all the way through your mouth for a count of 8 and repeat. On all of these, start with just a few breaths, 3 to 5 cycles. Work your way up to a practice of 5 minutes or more if it's practical. You can practice smell the flowers, blow out the candles, belly breathing, and the 4-7-8 pattern of breathing separately, or you can combine all 3 together, whatever works for you. Keep in mind that as we work on focusing on our breathing, it's so natural for our minds to wander. The idea is not to keep your mind perfectly focused on your breath for the length of your practice. The idea is actually to notice when your mind wanders and gently, non-judgmentally, bring your thoughts back to your breath. As we practice this thought shifting, we get better and better at intentionally placing our thoughts where we want them, rather than being at the mercy of our thoughts and emotions. The more you practice, the better you'll be at transferring the skill to areas of your life outside of your breath practice. It wasn't long after I started practicing mindful breathing that I began to notice when I was driving my son to and from therapy appointments that I was having self-critical thoughts that weren't helpful. We'll talk more about ending self-critical thoughts in a future video, but for now, know that just noticing where your thoughts are and intentionally placing them on your breath can be a great strategy. Really quickly, I want to tell you about a tool that I found to be tremendously helpful. There's an app on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store called Calm. I share it with most of my therapy clients. This app has several guided sessions to help you learn how to meditate or breathe mindfully. There are some easy to follow breath exercises for relaxation and focus, as well as a library of sleep stories that you can listen to help you fall asleep. My kid, Luke, actually listens to a few sleep stories every night at bedtime to help him unwind, and they have come in pretty handy for myself a time or two. I'm going to drop a link for a free month-long Calm app trial in the description. Let me know how you like it. In my next video, I'll show you some ways to take care of yourself emotionally when the bottom falls out of your world. In the meantime, make sure you grab my free guide to taking care of yourself in crisis. The link to get that is in the description. And please hit that subscribe button so you know when I drop new videos. Remember, fellow water fire walkers, you probably don't feel like you have it all together. You may not even feel like you can take one more step. But there is a God who goes before us and who is our rear guard. He is going to carry you through these tough days. He's got you, and I'm here to help. see you next time.